It was told to me by many doctors that I wasn't going to be able to have a baby. So then becoming pregnant, it was like, wow, like this is my miracle child, and like how can I give that up, but also how can I go through with this by myself? So when I first found out I was pregnant, it was a very surreal feeling. I was going through a tough patch in my relationship, so I remember this feeling of joy and happiness, but also this fear of like, how was this going to impact something that was already not in an ideal place, or the place I thought I would be when finding out that I was going to be having a baby. My thought process about going through abortion was, it was traumatic for me because at a young age, I was pregnant when I was 15 and I did have to go through abortion at that time. The thought of going through that again was very hard because it brought up a lot of emotions from the past that I think that I suppressed for a really long time. But then because of my circumstances, it was an option at the time. I had a few friends that had gone through a similar situation, and I reached out to one of those girlfriends and kind of asked her, how did you come to deciding what your next step was going to be? And Hope for Women was actually the place that she recommended for professional advice on what to do next. So when I first came through the doors of Hope for Women, I remember being greeted by Lisa, and she just had such a big smile on her face. She actually reminded me a lot of my mother. I just remember feeling so at ease when I came through the door, and it was almost like a breath of fresh air when I came through here. Through my first session, I felt like a big weight lifted off my shoulder. I remember the biggest words that were impacted by me in that session were, your mind's gonna tell you one thing, but your heart will always tell you what's best for you. And I think that's what really helped me make the decision I did, is in my heart, I knew the answer. I just remember leaving here after hearing that, like, I 100% know what I'm gonna do. So I definitely feel that the support here helped influence me in knowing that everything was gonna be okay. I remember thinking, like, what a wonderful organization to be able to come to, and, you know, if I was tight on money or if things that I didn't have I needed, I knew that I could come here to ask for that and get help with that. Things along my pregnancy, like prenatal vitamins, was something that was out of reach for me at the time. And I remember being able to come here and telling Lisa that, you know, like, this is something that I've read about and I need, but like, I don't have the means to go and get that right now. And she was like, no problem, like, I got you. And she came back, and I remember thinking, like, wow, there's something like this that exists. Looking back on the option of not having her, I'm very glad I didn't go through with that option. I remember wanting to have a kid for so long, and now actually having her, it's like I couldn't imagine my life any other way. There's days where it's hard, there's days where it's tough, there's days where I'm tired and I'm living off 6 cups of coffee. But it's like I said, every time I look at her, it's like, wow, like, I have a little mini-me and like my best friend. I get to do all the things that I imagined doing with my child, and it's been not just because I went through with that, but because I also had the support knowing I could get through that. I think I would have felt very similar to my past, where like a decision would have been made for me, and not a decision made by my own heart, but made by logical thinking and not how I'm feeling. And I think if I went that way, I think I would have went through my whole life wondering what if. Like, I think that's the big thing is, you know, I don't ever now have to wonder what the what if would have been. I now get to live that what if every single day, and it's amazing.